making got interrupted, and I really wanted to talk about this question of why there's so much hatred for the president when he should be a person who should be able to bring everyone together. He's, all the things I didn't like about President Trump when he was running and his history and everything are things that Democrats should love. And so I don't understand where this opposition is coming from. He's the best of both worlds. And I was talking about King David. Now, King David to the Renaissance, why Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, all love David. They all want to sculpt David. They all idealize David. The most famous, Michelangelo's David. Why was David this picture of idealism? And he was actually, it's the irony that you had a monarch who to the Renaissance men was the symbol of republicanism, little r republicanism. Republicanism, we have to remember, means no monarchy. Meaning Australia and Canada are not Republican countries because they have a monarch, they have a queen. The Queen of England is their queen. And so those countries are not republics. The United States was founded essentially as a republic and not as a democracy. Because the founders, they founded it as a democratic republic, but first and foremost a constitutional democratic republic. Meaning, constitutional republic is the main aspect of how the federal government is formed, with aspects of democracy, particularly in reference to the House of Representatives. Really, there was no essentially other direct democratically elected body other than the House of Representatives. Electoral College never really had to listen to the people initially. It was more or less an independent body. And the Senate was not the direct election of senators until very late, and it's really kind of undermines the purpose of the Senate to have direct election of senators. It also undermines the prestige of the Senate. So alright, so there was still democracy in it because people voted for their representatives and the state legislatures. Alright, so let's move on. So David was the prototype of republicanism to the Renaissance men. Because, like I mentioned before, he humbled himself before God Israelite to Judaism, is considered a son of Abraham and the son of Sarah, because he's following in the ways of Abraham and Sarah. And every true leader should be a Ben David, should be a son of David. We have to think about this. To be a son of David doesn't just mean bloodlines. The wicked kings of Judah, even though their bloodlines were sons of David, and they might have had children who were righteous, and maybe even Seifi Mayhem also converted, also repented like Manasseh did, went back to the ways of his father Hezekiah. Was a true son of David, both in his biology, but also in his ideology and in his lifestyle. And the roundheads of Europe often would claim Davidic lineage to justify what they call the divine right of kings. But what's more important than the lineage is the emulation of David. To be a true son of David means to be a student of David, a follower of David. And in a way, Donald Trump, even though he wasn't my first choice, David, and let's put aside the Chazal view of David, which idealized him. Let's look instead at how Scripture Beis Kazos Gad Malchus. Like Mordechai said to Esther, who knows if it's a time like this that you've reached your royal position. Meaning there's divine providence in such a position, especially because it's so unlikely. That being said, I listen to the other side, to Sajakra, to the left, and they have nothing to say. I mean, I get emails from both the Republican National Committee and the Democratic National Committee almost every day. The Republican emails have arguments, have explanations. They're not just empty platitudes and words. They present you with a logical argument. Now, with a logical argument, you could argue back the other way too. You could upschlagen, like we say in Yiddish. But at least there's logic and there's an argument here. I read the Democrat emails and it's just whining. It has no substance. It has no value. And I would like to hear substance and value from the left. But they cannot, today's left at least, cannot honestly themselves in a way that's intellectually honest. Meaning when Thomas Jefferson was the left, as he was in his day, he was the political left. He had arguments, logic, intelligence behind what he wrote. And the fact of the matter is that today's right resembles Jefferson much more than today's left resembles Jefferson. And also, ironically, today's left resembles the old Federalists, who were the right of their time, the Whigs, the Federalists, in certain aspects, more than today's right does, except what we would call the establishment right. The establishment right is more of a it's more like the Whigs, I would say. They're almost neo-Whigs, but they're also more similar to the left. They're almost identical. There's very little difference. Substantially, I'm saying ideologically, I don't mean in what their goals are, but in their means to the goals. The establishment Republican is really a Democrat. Of today's Democrats, not of the old Democrats. And in a way, even the fact of the matter is, Trump is an anomaly because most of the establishment right are neo-Whigs in a sense. federalists who don't espouse true federalism. The quote-unquote radical right, which tend to be more libertarian, espouse real federalism and are more Jeffersonian. And the greatest irony is how Trump loves and emulates a very wicked and awful president, but a very popular one, who was really the first Democrat and who claimed the mantle of Jefferson, but who Jefferson himself saw as an extremely dangerous figure, is Jackson. And the admiration that Trump has for Jackson is frightening. But again, the left should love that because he's one of them. And he really is. The establishment left today, the Democrat Party today, particularly the Obama and Clinton wings of the party, are direct descendants of Woodrow Wilson. They even skip FDR and LBJ to a sense. You go right to Wilson, and Wilson is a spiritual heir of Jackson, but with more of the arrogance of the North, together with the bigotry of the South. He was a Southerner boy, but he established himself as an aristocrat of the intelligentsia of the North in Princeton, and was really the worst president of the 20th century, Woodrow Wilson. An evil, evil man. You know, I guess I don't really have time to discuss much more of this. I really want to discuss more, because I was listening to this when I listen to Democracy Now!, which is a very extreme left-wing, almost communist radio show. And the fascinating thing, two things. One, they had Randy Weingarten and just you know, expressing her hatred for Betsy DeVos, and at least some argument, but I disagree with her argument, but there was substance to it. I disagree with with many aspects of what she argued, including the authenticity of her arguments and the veracity of her claims. Now, to me, the opposition to Betsy DeVos is rooted in anti-religious sentiment. I would call it anti-Semitism, but I don't like the term anti-Semitism because it racializes Jews. And Judaism is a religion, not a race. But really, essentially, if we really knew what things were, the vast majority of opposition to Christianity is rooted in the same, what we could colloquially call anti-Semitism. Because most of the things that people hate about Christianity come from Judaism. Most of the things that Jews, who are not religious, hate about Christianity comes from Judaism. It's what they hate about their own Judaism, or the Judaism that they abandoned, the Judaism of their ancestors. Rabbi Victor Miller's Defense of God in the Holocaust. In the matter of the Holocaust, I read about, over 90 pages, maybe 100 pages in it over Shabbos, and still, it barely touched the 20th century, a little bit. And that's fascinating because we see, in this defense, we need to see and understand what really happened. I know a lot of people hate that book. I'm giving it a chance. I remember Rav Miller, consider him to be one of the biggest tzaddikim of the latter part of the 20th century. It's neither here nor there. It's time for me to go. It's time for work. A lot of people are pointing out there is a level of disingenuous feelings in left's opposition to Trump because that Meshivin Franken said, let's not be so quick to impeach Trump because Pence is quote unquote worse. I heard this at work from a coworker. Pence is worse. What do you mean Pence is worse? To me, one of the only reasons I felt comfortable voting for Trump is because of Pence. It's similar like how one of the reasons I felt comfortable voting for McCain was because of Palin. Pence is one of the most upright, honest, straightforward statesmen that we have today. He would have been a much better president than Trump. So, it's really not about Trump being so brash and unpresidential because Pence is an extremely presidential person. It's about just hatred of America, of the Constitution, of everything that this country was founded on. It's about replacing our founding with something that Woodrow Wilson made up. And it sickens me that so many people who have Jewish ancestry and call themselves Jews, claim a Jewish identity, are involved with this. It upsets me as a Jew and it upsets me as an American. And it's really self-hatred. Alright, I don't have time to talk. It's time for work. I don't think I really accomplished very much. Alright, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.